Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. Today, we're talking about how to teach entrepreneurship to the children and the benefits of doing that. And I got a very special guest with us, Arriel Bivens-Biggs, best-selling author, also known as the Momager business coach. She's going to come and share some of her secrets, how she got her son, Mikey, the kid who knows the biz, to become a best-selling author. He's got a vending machine business with Google Ops, vending machines, and all of that kind of stuff. So she's going to be breaking down the importance of teaching entrepreneurship to children, but also how to do it in a way that is fun and that is profitable. So do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk all about youth entrepreneurship. So let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network, and when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, Ultimate Hustlers, it's about to go down, man. Welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite entrepreneur from Monetize My Life Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. And if you have not gotten your free copy of Monetize My Life, 4 incredibly simple ways to turn your passion into profit, you are slipping on your pimping. Let me show you how to take the gifts and talents and special abilities that God gave you and turn those into a profitable business. And for a limited time, if you act fast, you'll also get access to my free course, How to Become an Influencer. Everybody's trying to figure out influencer marketing on social media. Well, you get a free course on how to do that as well. So all you got to do is go over to monetizemylifeacademy.com/free book. Again, that's monetizemylifeacademy.com/free book. If you have not commented in the chat where you're from, do that now. Drop the name of your business and on your brand if you like a free business shout out. And we're going to block this guy right here because we just don't play those type of games. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. A couple quick announcements before we bring our special guest, Arriel, on. She's going to be talking about how to teach entrepreneurship to our kids. Do me a favor. If you think entrepreneurship should be taught in schools, then drop a 1 in a comment. I just need to know who is hanging out with us today. Do you think entrepreneurship should be taught in schools? I certainly think so. So Arriel is a best-selling author. She is the mom business coach. She's like if you got an entrepreneur as a kid, she's like the whisperer to parents who've got entrepreneurs as kids to take them to the next level. So real quick, those of you guys who are interested in making a dollar and making a difference at the same time, and you want me to coach you on how to turn your social media platform into an economic empowerment engine and get paid for it at the same time. For the last 6 years, guys, I've built a pretty significant monthly residual income posting financial tips and strategies on social media. So we're helping our community become more financially astute and aware, and we're bringing empowerment. And I want to coach 5 more people in the month of May on how to do that through our complete financial makeover program. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, then all you got to do is comment financial franchise, and I'll get you some information on that. Also, I'm looking for about a half dozen sponsors who want to get their products or services or themselves, their brand, in front of my audience. I got some very reasonable prices for you if you would like to market on the Cortez Hustle Show, as well as my extensive social media platform and reach. We are syndicated on 6 different Facebook pages and 2 YouTube channels every single morning. And you, my friend, can get your business and or your brand in front of thousands of people if you become a sponsor of the Cortez Hustle Show. So now it is time, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I like to start with the quote of the day, but before I bring on, do the quote of the day, I'm going to bring on my very special guest. This is a great friend of mine. We've been rocking together for the last 5 or 6 years, and really just building business together and trying to bring the level of excellence up in the St. Louis metro area. And she's doing a wonderful job with her son. When I say this woman is a mom boss, she is a best-selling author. She is the Momager business coach. She is a phenomenal woman. She is a Proverbs 31 woman in every sense of the word. She's the loving spouse. She is the entrepreneur. She is the community activist. She is all things phenomenal. So I'm going to introduce to some and present to others my good friend, Miss Arriel Bivens-Biggs in the building.
Hello.
What's told up, you Arriel?
Hi, hello. Every time you introduce me, I look around like, is he talking about me?
Yes. Well, check this out. Before we get into who you are in your story, I like to start off the Cortez Hustle Show with the quote of the day. Now, you can give us one of your favorite quotes if you want to, or you can chime in on this one. But I thought this one was pretty fitting for today's show. It says, a leader takes people where they want to go, but a great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be. And I think that's something that you have been really, really good at with the moms that you're coaching and all of that kind of stuff. And I think that is the sign of a great leader. It's not about where you want to go, it's where you ought to be, or where you ought to be. And a leader's job is to take people there. And that's what I try to do every day on this show. It's not take you where you want to go, but take you where you ought to be. And that is economically empowered. That is feeling good about the gifts, talents, and special abilities that God gave you and having the confidence to present them to the marketplace and take it to the next level. So do you have a favorite quote, or do you want to chime in on that?
Let me chime in on that one. And I'm glad that is the quote of the day, because Coach, you just talked about how you do it every day on a podcast, but you do that every day naturally. And I believe that I am a better person because of the coach and natural leader that you are, because you saw something great in me that I didn't see in myself. And you coaching me through, I'm finally at the point that I can see those things that you saw early on, but it's the leader in you. It took the leader in you to bring out the leader in me. So
I love it. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate that, Arriel. You got me goosebumpy over here this morning. Don't you start no mess now. We have everybody crying on the show this morning. But real quick, tell everybody, who the heck is Arriel Biggs?
You know what? Today, I can confidently say the dopest momager business strategist in the game that, just want to serve and make sure that I can bring out and develop the best you as a momager and as a mom that you can be. So whether that's you wanting to work with your children or you working and finding something within yourself that you didn't know that was there, but that you always wanted to bring something out about yourself or start a business, or that's who I am at my core. I just want to help and serve. Like you said, I'm a mom of two. I'm a wife. I'm a servant leader. But at the end of the day, at my core, I just want to bring out the best and motivate others to bring out the best in themselves.
I love it, man, because there's not enough people doing that. And I know that every one of us has got something special. And people always say, well, Cortez, how do you know that I got this great thing in me? It's because I know your creator, and he don't create no junk. So whether you can see it or not, I know it's there. I like to use the example. It's kind of like if you found an old car, it was beat up, it was rusted, and it didn't look too hot. But if you found the emblem and you dusted it off and you saw that it was a Mercedes-Benz, what would you then know about that car? You know its maker, so you know its quality. Hey, I know your maker, so I know its quality. You just got to go within and find those things. So we're going to get into your story a little bit, because you've been on a wild ride and journey from starting out as an entrepreneur yourself back in the day. So talk about some of your first entrepreneurial endeavors as a kid and teenager.
Yeah, so some of my first entrepreneurs endeavors, I sold candy, took candy to school and sold candy. I also made Attabead chains. I also braided hair in middle school, high school, and in college. And I've also been a photographer. I've also been a real estate agent. Probably just about anything that you could think of, I've tried entrepreneurial. But what tapped into my gift was actually helping my son start his first business. When he came to me at 7 years old, asking for a vending machine, I was like, no, I'm not, because I'm tired as a mom. I mean, he's playing karate. I mean, he's doing karate. He's playing basketball. He's doing football. He has all of these extracurricular activities going on top of us having church twice a week. So it was just like, no, bro, we're not adding nothing else to the plate. But because he was adamant about it, and then I started thinking back to that child that was in myself that was told no. And I knew that entrepreneurship was in me, but I was too afraid. So I took my fear and I pushed it on him like, no, you can't do that. You're too young. Just sit back, wait till you get a little bit older. But that didn't sit right in my spirit when I said that to him. So I just sat back. I said, you know what? He can be successful if I help him, because I was an entrepreneur as a kid with no help, and I was pretty successful. So if I give him the help and support that he needs, he can really do something with this thing. So I started with him just as something to do, like, go ahead and complete a business plan. Let us know where you're going to get the vending machines from. And he came back with the business plan. He knew where he was going to get them from. He did his market research, and he was just like, I'm ready. Me and my husband wasn't ready because we really didn't have the money. So we came from, I worked in the home healthcare field. My husband worked in the home healthcare field, and we were doing okay. We were still living paycheck to paycheck, but he made a nice amount of money and I made a nice amount of money. So it was just like, okay, well, we got a little money, but not what you need. So we decided to have him to start with a smaller entrepreneurial endeavor, which was starting a lemonade stand. And him and his business partner made $1,200 in 3 days. And so after they made that, they gave to a nonprofit organization that helped other kids. And then they took their profits that they had and split it. And then we gave Mikey the rest of his money to invest in his first 2 vending machines. And honestly, Cortez, we did not think we were going to have to do that. But we knew that if we didn't, somebody else was going to get hold to that entrepreneurial spirit that he had. So I always tell people I wanted the right thing in his hand before the wrong thing got in his hand.
I love it. I love it. And well, I'm going to introduce you guys to Mikey, the kid who knows the biz, in this short clip where he was being interviewed on and about that first entrepreneurial endeavor. And I want you guys to listen to the shock and awe of the people who are interviewing him. So check out Mikey, the kid who knows the biz, talking about his first lemonade stand.
You made $1,200 from a lemonade stand in 3 days?
Yes.
How much was your lemonade?
50 cents and $1 and $7 for a gallon.
Wow.
How good was that damn lemonade? Yo, I'm quenched. I need my thirst quench right now. Where's some lemonade at?
That is amazing.
What was
That's
it?
amazing.
Yeah, that's major.
But the thing that helped us really get the sales, so you see how a lot of people do lemonade, but you gotta like find your market. So and like having the right location. So the new Jordans was releasing that same day, and we set up like right next to the GTLR that had the new Jordans that was releasing. So
Come on, Mikey.
they was standing in this hot sun.
My
Come
man.
on, Mikey.
Lemonade. So.
Mikey, 7 years old. He said, hold on, let's think about this first of all. We're going to do lemonade. 50 cents, $1, $7. Somewhere where a bunch of people going to be hot and want the lemonade. I like it.
So that kind of was, and as you can see, that's what Mikey does. It's not like you guys are doing everything for him. He actually rolled up his sleeves and he became like a full-fledged entrepreneur. And I'm glad that you said it didn't sit right in your spirit, so you made it happen. Talk about some of the sacrifices, because I know when he did the business plan and you guys came up with the vending business, talk about some of the sacrifices that he made as a kid to kind of let y'all know that, no, I'm serious. I'm willing to give up some stuff too to make this dream a reality.
Yeah, of course. Well, initially, we thought that it was just going to be this little thing, but when vending machines are not cheap, so it was close to Christmas time, and we usually get him gifts for Christmas. And so we was just like, you know what, if you're going to take this money, I mean, if you want these vending machines, you're going to have to take some of your Christmas money and buy the machines. And his response to us was like priceless, because he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, is that easy? He was like, yeah, because as I make this money, I can buy the things that I want. He was like, y'all buy everything that I want anyway. So me making my own money, taking that money to make my own money, I could just buy what I want later. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You talk about making your own money and buying your own stuff. And he talked about buying property and having all of these big dreams of these things he wanted to do. And we as a family felt at the time that we couldn't give it to him. But for us, I think it was taking the first step and having the faith that if he really wanted to do this thing and we supported him, he would be able to take it to the next level. And that's what he did. The first Christmas, we got him 2. The second Christmas, he had made enough money to buy himself 2 more machines. And now currently today, he has 12 machines. Now, we stopped him at 12 machines. And that reason for that, because we want to make sure that he's running the business and he's learning what he needs to learn how through running his business, and not putting too much on him as a kid. So we looked at what Mikey can handle and the lessons we wanted him to learn through entrepreneurship. And we said, okay, that would be his limit. We did step in and start supporting him more because we want this to be a fun thing for him, but then we also want him to learn some responsibility. We want him to grow some problem solving skills, and then we want him to build his self-esteem that if he does not want to go work for somebody else, because he says it all the time, he doesn't have to. He has the tools that he needs to create something on his own, and he understands the system in which he needs to create it.
I love it. I love it. And I think that is, for me, I love that you gave him that option. And I think that's all it is. Some people will quickly say that everybody can't run a business. And I say that's a lie. Because all the skills necessary for running a business are learnable, trainable skills. Everybody can't run a business from day one. But if you start a business and you stick with it and you plan to be committed to it, eventually you'll learn the skills necessary to run a business successfully. So we're going to talk about the progression of young Mikey. Because of the success of the vending business, he actually became a best-selling author when he told his story. And that kind of gets into my wheelhouse on how to take something that you are already passionate about and turn it into another stream without adding stress. But we got to do that on the other side of 1 minute motivation. So Arriel, 1 minute motivation is where I play a short motivational clip, usually about 60 to 90 seconds. And I want you to jot down a takeaway or two. I'll give you my takeaways. But I think today we have queued up some Les Brown for you. So let's get into 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
I'd like for you to do right now, I want you to think about your dream, because I'm in a room full of dreamers. Think about your dream right now. I want you to think about it and envision it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you. I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. And I want to share something with you that has changed my life. I started out, as was indicated by Jack, very humble beginnings. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know, that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. Let's say that together, please. It's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that it's possible that I can have my dream.
Hoo-wee. See, that, my friend, is what I wake up to every morning. I give thanks. I roll out of bed, go get my workout in, pop my earbuds in, and I'm listening to something positive. So, Arriel, give me a takeaway or two, sis.
I'm just going to say that it's possible.
That's
my takeaway. And it's because my life and the way that things have happened and all the ups and downs, I'm still hitting the goals and the things that I thought was impossible. Even with all of those things that stood in the way, I'm still getting to where I would like to be and where God said I can be. So what stood out to me was it's possible, because it is, no matter what your life circumstances is, it's possible.
Man, everybody put in the comments right now, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know what that dream is that you're holding. And you might not be able to say with confidence that I can do it. But here's where I draw confidence from, Arriel. I'm just the type of guy who happens to believe that anything that any other person on this planet has accomplished, then I can do it. Listen, if another human being has done it, give me enough time and I can do it too. So sometimes I might not be able to say I can do it right now, but if somebody else has done it, that means it's possible. And I'm thinking to myself, I can do it. But here's the key, guys. If you're going to be able to do anything that anybody else is doing, like Arriel, I'm so serious. I'm building a media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney. I am so serious about that, right? Because if they've done it, I can do it. But here's the thing. What most people miss is I don't do what they're doing now. I have to go and find out what was the mindset that they had that created the activities that led to these media empires. So while it is possible, the first thing that you have to do when you want to model success is you have to figure out what was the mindset that created the success, right? And I heard Billy Osbrook say that all the time. You define the mindset that created the success. You adopt that mindset. By default, you're going to adopt the habits. And once you become something different, you'll start doing something different. And then you'll have something different. And that is 1 minute motivation, the Arriel Bivens-Biggs version right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Momager business coach herself. So we're talking about this journey that you took your son on. And if you guys have kids that want to be entrepreneurs, then Arriel's going to give you her details at the end of the show on how you can connect with her so she can either help your kid get the business started. That's what Mikey does. Or if your kid already has a business, you're trying to go to the next level, she can help you do that. And if you guys need a combination of the two, then her and Mikey works together in their coaching program to help you guys get that thing started. But Mikey did his thing. He's got his vending machines. They are wrapped and they all branded and all that stuff. I was like, go ahead, Mikey. But then everybody was asking him how he did it. So he took it to another level and talk about the experience of him going from a vending machine business owner to a published author.
Yeah, that started Cortez from a struggle that he had. So in third grade, he was struggling in reading and writing, and comprehension, reading comprehension. So his third grade teacher, she said, Mikey's extremely smart. He's extremely bright and talented. But what I noticed is that he's saying all the words, but he's not retaining what it is. So I'm like, okay, what do we need to do to get him to the next level? She said, well, start having him journal about what's going on in his life, but then have him to repeat it back to you what it is that's going on. So as he started going through that process, he was journaling about his lemonade stand. He talked about how he started his vending business. And so I was like, oh, you know what? This is reading like a book. So I was like, do you want to publish? We decided to publish. And hit the bestsellers list in 2 days, and to date have sold over 10,000 copies of his book, Mikey Learns About Business. We're still in awe about it, but still on the bestsellers list, and he's still going strong with it. And that was 4 years ago. So
wow. And ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want you to get. I want you guys to write this quote down, and I got this from my man Trevor Otts. There is more in what you know than what you do. Right, write it down, guys. My pastor David Blunt will say, what you write on the line stays in your mind. There's more in what you know than what you do. So what did Mikey do? He operated a vending machine business. But what does he know? He knows how to operate a vending machine business. He knows how to start a vending machine business. And he wrote a book about it. And that book has sold more than 10,000 copies, and it is still going strong. So I love that. And I want to tell each and every one of you guys who's watching, if you don't understand, this is why I wrote this book. Because you got a gift, you got a talent, you got a special ability that you can turn into a business. In fact, you're supposed to. Good book says your gift will make room for you at the top. And it's your gift that leads to your provision. So I love that he got the book out. Now, second book came out behind that. And now he's working on a book for middle school kids. It's just amazing to see what you guys are doing with him. But somebody, Arriel, is sitting back saying, yeah, but I work 2 jobs. I can't do that with my kids. Somebody is sitting back, Arriel, saying, well, yeah, I'm a single mom. I can't do that with my kids. Do you mind talking about some of the personal challenges that you fought through while this was all happening? Because I don't want people to start thinking and creating all these excuses in their mind. Because when I sat back and watched what you guys were doing and knowing your story and what you were battling personally with your health challenges, I was like, this is nothing short of amazing. And I'm going to let you take it from here so you can share how much or how little you want to share. But what were you going through personally as his star was rising?
So we got diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, and I was like 35 at the time. And 10 years prior to that, I had cancer before. So when I talked about really helping Mikey and really speaking to that young entrepreneur in Mikey, it came from, you know what, I want my kid to know how to take care of himself and support his young sister if he needed to, if I was not here with him or being here with him. I never thought that I would be diagnosed with cancer again, but that was my thought process, that I need my kids to be able to be self-sufficient, know how to manage money and how to take care of themselves and make their own money. Well, during the process, we're 9 months. I left my full-time job to work with Mikey. 9 months into working with Mikey, we got diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. We sat down as a family. We talked about it, like what this was going to look like. Were we going to stop running business, or were we going to keep on going? And we decided to keep going. And the thought process behind keep going, because I never felt like that it was going to take me out, but I felt like if it was time for me to go, I wanted to leave everything that I had in me on the table. So I started pouring into Mikey, and the more I poured into him, the more he was like, Mama, I don't need all of that. He was like, I got it. But in my mind as a mom, I needed to give him everything that I had, but he had already had it. Us working together that year and 9 months, everything he had, it just started to pour. Everything that I put into him started to pour out, and he started to sound just like me. So sometimes I would be sitting in my chemo chair watching him at events, and I'm FaceTiming like, y'all show me what's going on, and they're showing me, they like, no, Mikey got it. He got it. He a boss at this. And I'm like, yeah, he a boss because I'm a boss. But during that time, it helped me to realize more of who I was as a person and the strength that I had on the inside of me, because people would come to me like, but you were diagnosed with cancer. I'm like, okay, but I was told that I'm going to live and not die. So if I truly believe that, my faith is going to take me to the next level and have me to continue to walk forward and not stop. So my faith told me that, yeah, you keep on going. So that's what I did. I kept on going. But even when we talk about struggles, that's just the cancer struggle. But then we talk about the struggle of not having everything that you feel like you're supposed to have as an entrepreneur. But when I tell y'all, we walked into people to support us and help us. We walked into resources that we needed. We walked into grant money. It all came from just taking that step of faith to say, and when I talk about grant money, I'm talking about the nonprofit that we run with serving the community called Young Biz. But we're walking into all of this because we decided no matter what was going on in our life, we were going to continue to serve others and make sure that our life had value and meaning. And that's what I do. And I do it on a regular basis. But that strength of going through cancer helped me develop a process, and I call it the pink print, where I'm staying positive about whatever is going on around me. I also listen to the voice of God, whether it's through his music, through his word, and tapping into other pastors, preachers, and teachers. And then the last thing I do is I trust the process. So no matter what the doctor said, no matter what my friends said, no matter what people said around me, I knew that God said that I should live and not die, and that I'm healed. So doing that, I walked in what God had called and said. So that was just one struggle that we went through. But then we recently went through a struggle of where we lost our home. And with going through all of the cancer battle, you get a bunch of bills and a bunch of stuff just start piling up. And we went into piling up, but we went into survival mode. We knew that our business was going to survive no matter what. Mikey was adamant on being a business owner that made it to his 5 years in business. When I got diagnosed with cancer, he had only been in business almost 2 years. So we walked through this thing because he was like, we're going to make it to 5 years. He was like, did you know most entrepreneur business don't? So I'm like, okay, we got this. We about to make it. Well, doing that, some other stuff came up, but we decided to bulldoze through that too. And the thing that I want you guys to know about sacrifices and things, that when you make those sacrifices and you sow into good ground, that's going to come back to you. So you got to keep on going, because life happens to all of us every day. But when life happens, you don't have to look like life happens to you. And I'm not talking about walking around like everything is good, but walking around with that vision in your mind that this is possible. People that lost their homes, they just slept in cars, they've been diagnosed with cancer, they lost a mother, they lost a father, they've lost friends, they've lost sleep, but they still, if they stay consistent and stayed the course, they got to where they wanted to be eventually. And I could not let my husband make all the sacrifices that he was making to get us to where we was going behind the scenes. He makes a lot of sacrifices, and then us give up because we sick. What? No.
Yeah.
Us give up because we lost the house. No. What? No. We about to keep on going because we want to make sure those sacrifices mean something.
I love it. I love it. And when I tell you, I coach a lot of people, and some of the reasons that they give me for giving up on themselves, right? I'm like, that's not a reason to quit. That's the reason to go harder. But everybody is different. And I'm glad you shared that, because a lot of people don't understand that life goes on. I mean, there's going to be things that happen in your life, but you was diagnosed with cancer, but you were still a mom boss. So a mom boss still has to help her son run his business. You still had him at events. He was still doing his keynote speaking. He was writing the second book. He was doing all of the things. And one of the things that helped him is the system that you put in place. And we're going to talk about that on the other side of this break, about what you guys done. Two things we gotta hit on is the system that you put in place that now you able to duplicate with other moms. But we got to talk about Mr. Biggs, the $10 million man, and how he holds it down as the silent partner and allows you to be who you guys are, you and both Mikey being the front runners and the face of the brand. So on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about that. But I got to let you guys know that if you want a complete financial makeover, I'm your guy, man. I'm your guy. I want to help you make over your tax situation. That's your biggest bill. I want to help you make over your credit situation. I want to help you make over your debt situation. I want to help you make over your investment game plan so you can build generational wealth. And this, my friends, is how we do it.
Money. Who took it? How can I get it back? How can I keep it? How can I make more of it? How can I get it to work for me? These are just a few of the questions millions of hardworking Americans ask themselves every day. This is also why MWR Financial has created the Complete Financial Makeover, a done-for-you financial success system that provides everything you need to save, make, and grow your money. Imagine what your life would look like if you paid less in taxes. You could lower your monthly bills. Your credit scores were amazing, and you were able to eliminate all your debts in record time, while being able to make more money than you ever thought possible with a team of financial experts that will help you save and invest like the pros all at the same time. Sounds amazing, right? Well, what if I told you there's a realistic, affordable way to make all of this happen that guarantees your success with no risk to you? You'd think I was crazy, or this is another one of those fancy sales pitches, right? Well, believe it or not, this is real, and thousands of people just like you are winning the money game like never before. You see, we figured out how to help everyone, regardless of their current financial position, lower their taxes, debts, and monthly bills, while increasing their credit scores, income, and investments all at the same time, without them having to become financial experts, because our experts do all the work. The only thing missing is you. So, what are you waiting for? Your money's not going to fix itself or magically start growing unless you do something about it. And with our risk-free guarantee, the only way you can lose is if you choose not to participate. With that said, get back to the person that shared this information with you. Have them show you a full presentation and start your complete financial makeover today, so you too can create your own before and after financial makeover success story.
All right, Ultimate Hustlers, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. We're listening to and learning from the Momager business coach, best-selling author, Arriel Bivens-Biggs, and we're talking about entrepreneurship. By the way, if you guys need that complete financial makeover, you want to see how our whole program works, text keyword soft intro to 314-874-6887. Again, text keyword soft intro to 314-874-6887. 7. So Arriel, before we went to the break, I was talking about Mr. Biggs, right? Biggs and I, Arriel's husband, we go back to elementary school. I met Biggs when I was in 5th grade, somewhere around there, and we've been rocking ever since. But talk about him being your rock, right? The foundation. And he sits in the background. He lets you guys be the face of the brand, but it is really his support, because you guys do the entrepreneurship thing full time. He still works and takes care of the household and all that kind of stuff. How important is that to have that solid of a foundation so that you guys can do your thing?
Yeah, it gives you freedom, right? Because I operate at a level that I feel like no matter what I put out there, no matter what I need to do, my husband is going to back me 100%. And he does it by going to work and sometimes working 2 jobs if he needs to keep me in a space where I can thrive and be the best version of myself. Meaning that I can go and get a job, but my husband stays on me. He was like, no, we sacrifice this. If God called you and said that you're supposed to be developing other leaders and teaching entrepreneurship, and you got a call on your life to help break generational curses and start helping people build generational wealth by teaching entrepreneurship, that's what you need to do. So he allows me to fully operate in freedom of what it is that God has called me to do. And I tell people, God put us together for purpose. Even though we liked each other, we loved each other, we married, but we didn't realize at the time I needed somebody like him for the gift that God had placed on the inside of me, so that I can have that freedom and have no excuses on not doing the call that was placed on my life. I have no excuses because he's all in supportive. He's our driver. When we got to go from state to state to do speaking engagement, he drives us there. He stays in a hotel room and he'll sleep, and then we'll go and do our thing. And most people don't even realize that he's with us. He's our protector. He's our bodyguard. But he's there with us. And it's just like, wow, he really is invested in his own way. But because he's going to be retired, because mark my word, and I'm saying it on the show for accountability, Biggs will be a full-time father. That's my goal. My goal is to retire him with what I do to retire him to be a full-time dad.
Love it, love it, love it. And I know he's just a good all-around dude, just in general. And that's important to have that anchor that not only is supporting with the finances, but also understands your calling and your mission and saying, no, you've got to answer to God for this. I got to answer to God as your helpmeet. I'm not going to help you fail. So
Right.
I'm going to push you so that I don't get in trouble and say, hey, you let her fail because you let her give up. No. So I love that. I love that. Now let's transition to what you got going on, because you took all of this, right? You've made Mikey pretty much a household name in the St. Louis and the Midwest region, and now he's blowing up nationally. But you also, because of that, have seen a lot of parents through your program, Young Biz Kids, and just people seeing Mikey have been reaching out to you saying, how did you do that? Right. And you started to develop this system of coaching other moms. So let's talk about what that process looks like if a mom has a kid who's already in business, right? What are some of the things that you do to help get them to the next level?
Yeah. So what I do is I consistently help you grow your brand, get you in front of help you to get in front of the right people and eventually make more money. So I call it becoming influencer, a young influencer. And it first starts locally. And once you become that, your child becomes that local influencer, then we align them with the right people to get them to where they need to be and get in front of more people, more of their clients. And then lastly, I helped them to write a brand book so that we can create the system that's needed for them to continue to generate money. Now, we talk about building generational wealth. Just starting a business with a child does not build generational wealth. It can break generational curses by showing them something different and showing them this is an option for them, but it does not help you build generational wealth. What helps with the generational wealth is getting a product or a service and putting a system in place with it so that thing runs without you having to physically be there, that it can continue to sell over and over and make you some type of money over and over again with minimal effort. So that's what I help you to do, to identify that thing, to align yourself right, and then to put that system in place so that you can really sit back and watch yourself make money and have people calling you instead of you chasing people.
I love it. I love it. And because if we look down and through Mikey's brand, it's like he's got multiple streams of income, but it's all in alignment. And that's what's key, because you put a system in place. A lot of people don't understand the myth about multiple streams of income, or the issue with multiple streams of income. They don't understand that alignment is the key, right? His streams came from him doing his vending business. And then he wrote a book about vending. That's all tied in and related. Now he coaches other kids on how to start vending. So it's all in alignment. And I love the way you put that system in place for him to really thrive. And let's talk a little bit about your best-selling authorship as well, because he's not the only bestseller in the house, right? Talk about the couple projects that you put together that also hit the bestseller list, and what are you teaching in those works?
Yeah, so I am a four-time bestseller. And really, I talk about when I first stepped into entrepreneurship for myself outside of Mikey. I was a part of a book collab called Boss Mom. And I was the mom boss in the book. And I became the mom boss by being a mom of two young entrepreneurs. So I have a daughter, and she runs a business also. And we started her in the vending business at 3 years old. And she has the 3-head candy machines. So, and then I talk about being a mom of Mikey. Well, then I wanted, during the time that I was going through cancer and battling cancer, I wanted to make sure that I left a legacy of my own. So I helped 10 other ladies walk through the process of becoming a best-selling author, and telling their story and helping them to understand how important their story is to other people, so that they can inspire and help those people that are attached to them. And then from there, I wrote a collab with a group called Raising a Mogul. Shout out to Raising a Mogul. And became like just telling our story, me and my husband story, on having that solid foundation and how we work together to build this empire with our kids. So we transitioned from a kid business to a family business where everybody in the family is generating a source of income through entrepreneurship. And the last book I wrote was called with my church. It was called The Perfect Excuse. And we talk about how sometimes we think we have the perfect excuse not to do something, but the perfect excuse is still not a good excuse not to do what God has called you to do. So I talk about my financial struggles. I talk about my breast cancer struggle. I talk about those things openly and freely, because I want people to see I'm no different than you. But I get people to say, oh, can you take a picture with me? Can I have your autograph? I'm like, I'm really no different than you. The only minor difference is that I had a goal, and I decided not to let anything stop me from getting to those goals, because I knew that goal was ultimately going to get me to the vision that God showed me for my life. So I was just like, yeah, this right here is what we need to be doing as moms, as women, making sure that we leave a legacy for others. So that's what I wrote about in those books, making sure that at some point, if I'm no longer here, well, when that time comes, my blueprint and my legacy is all throughout these different projects. So you can go read about it and take some of the things that I put into to the books and use them, applying them to your own life. When I write, I make sure that I give tips and tools that you can use to go and start to apply the same thing that I did.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Talk real quick about we're talking about youth entrepreneurship. Talk about some of the not so glorified benefits that came out of this whole process. Mikey starting the business. What were some of the things that happened in and through him that you didn't even expect to happen? Some of the unseen benefits or unanticipated benefits, but also the same thing for yourself. What are some of the things that, man, came up and through and out of you that, like, man, I had no idea that this was going to happen, but it turned out to be a good thing?
I'll say the biggest thing is having that effective communication and being able to communicate to others and developing other leaders, because Mikey is developing other leaders too. I did not think that was going to come out of this. And then the other thing is hitting financial goals. Like just honestly going from a mentality of every 2 weeks I have to have a paycheck, and every 2 weeks, as long as I'm bringing in 25, I'm sorry, not 25, but every month, long as I'm bringing in $3,000 to $3,500, I'm good. But as we started on this entrepreneurial journey and we start seeing we can have a $12,000 month. Oh, we can have a $20,000 month. Like, why wasn't we doing this at first? Why wasn't? And that was unforeseen for me, because it was just like, oh, wow. And I'm being so transparent, even if you can do, like when I did my first class and I made, I think it was $2,000 in like an hour and a half, it blew my mind because I had never made $2,000 in a week on a job. And I'm like, man, this is mind blowing to me. So that's something that came out of it that I never thought. And I'm just talking and doing what I love.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, check this out, Arriel. Every day I have a guest on the Cortez Hustle Show. We do something called freestyle, because I know you got bars, sis. You from St. Louis. You got to have bars, right? Now, I'm not talking about that kind of freestyle. We ain't going to ask you to put it to music or nothing like that. But as I'm building this media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney, I'm starting with this podcast, and I don't always ask the right questions. And sometimes the conversation never evolves where we want it to go. So freestyle is your opportunity to lay something on the people in 90 seconds that you want them to say. Maybe it's something that we didn't get to that you wanted to touch on. Maybe it's something you want to reiterate that you did touch on, but hit them with the Cortez Hustle Show freestyle, Arriel Biggs version. Drop it on them, sis.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 90 seconds. Like, I just want to speak to you moms. Like, if you have a gift or something that's on the inside of you, don't let it lay dormant. Allow yourself some entrepreneurial endeavors, because sometimes our kids have to see us doing a certain thing. Mikey came to me wanting to be an entrepreneur, so it made it easier for me to support him. But maybe your child don't want to be an entrepreneur right now because they don't see it modeled in front of them, or don't think that that's something they can do. But if you decide that I'm not going to sleep on my dream and become that entrepreneur, we lead by example, and our kids do more of what they see than what they're hearing. So if they see you getting up and grinding and going to work and also having this side hustle or this thing that been laying on the inside of you, and on the inside of you, and they see all of that excitement, they're going to get excited and say, how can I help you? Or I got this thing that I want to do too. And you can start helping and supporting them. So that's the number one thing. If you got something on you as a mom, you got to stand up and do it. And it's for your children and your children's children to see, because you're planting seeds now with standing up and doing something and letting them know that you matter too, that you're more than just a mom. That's why I say act like a mom and think like a boss. You're a mom, but you're also a boss yourself.
Love it, love it, love it. That is freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Arriel Bivens-Biggs version. You talk a lot about legacy, and I am with you on that. One of the reasons I do this show and I do all these lives, because I just think back, my great-grandfather was a sharecropper, and he owns a little bit of land down in Nelliton, Mississippi, and he's been dead and gone for a while. But I often wish I could know what his thought process was as he was going through that. So now my children and my grandchildren and my great-great-grandchildren will be able to come back to whatever the YouTube is of the day or the Facebook is of the day and hear straight from the horse's mouth that I plan to build this thing the whole while. This was all part of the plan. They're going to be sitting on an empire because of a podcast out of my spare bedroom. What does legacy actually mean to you?
Just making sure that people know that I did it for the glory, like truly it's for the glory of God, that everything that God created me for, I was able to do it and impact other people's lives, starting with my family, because I believe it starts at home first and then going out to my community.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Les Brown says, live full and die empty. And that's what I heard you just say. Live full. Everything that God has put on me, that has filled me up with, I'm going for it. And when it's over, it's going to be over because I'm going to be empty. I ain't got nothing left. So cool. Tell everybody how they can connect with you, get going in the your program as a mom boss, or get their kids in Mikey's program to start their first entrepreneurial endeavors. Okay, the easiest way to get with me is visiting Work with Arriel. So that's Work with, and Arriel is ARRIEL.com. That's the easiest way to make sure that we're a good fit to work together, and making sure that I can get you on the right track. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Arriel Bivens. That's the easiest way to get in contact with me, because I like to be upfront and transparent that this is not for everybody. And it's a journey, but it's a rewarding journey if you're trying to make sure that you leave a legacy and your child leave a legacy, and that you don't want to work for somebody else for the rest of your life. So I just want to be transparent. It doesn't happen overnight, but give me 30 days and we in business. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you've been listening to and learning from Miss Arriel Bivens-Biggs, best-selling author 4 times. Mikey's a best-selling author, vending machine business owner. Now he's helping other young entrepreneurs. And we didn't even say he's a keynote speaker. He speaks all over the country, and the dude's just phenomenal. He's got a day named after him in the city of Jennings. There's a Mikey Day on the calendar. It's amazing that you didn't just keep this to yourself. You said, you know what? This thing that we're experiencing, other families should be able to experience it too if they want it. So I'm glad that you're opening up your program and you're coaching more women and men through this process, but you primarily work with the women on how to become mom bosses. So workwitharriel.com. Ladies and gentlemen, top of the hour came super, super fast. As I always say, listen, man, you have what it takes. God gave you a gift, a talent, a special ability. And I used to say for free, but then my girl, Lisa Santiago McNeil, said it ain't always free. Sometimes he gave you a gift that you had to go through some pain to get. So it wasn't free, but that gift will make room for you at the top if you learn how to monetize your life. And that's what Arriel wants to help you do. Monetize your life, help you start that business with your kid, and it becomes a family business. Y'all gonna all work together and work in and leave that legacy. So with that, that's a wrap for us. Shout out to my syndication partners, BBC TV, the Empowerment Network, as well as ERGJ Enterprise. They show tremendous amounts of love to your boy. And I've got a brand new partnership, guys, that I just solidified yesterday that's gonna put me on TV here in the next few months. I'm super, super, super excited about that, man. So thank all of y'all for always tuning in and showing me love. Till we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. So it's a love. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.